It's on. Yippee. All right, guys. Hi, welcome. Happy Monday. Thank you guys for making the time change so we could accommodate having Kristi on our call today. We have such a special guest today. I'm going to read all her accolades because literally when she sent it to me, I sent her a Beyonce Queen gift because she's incredible. So she is a superstar diamond, a 5-star, a 3-star, a 2-star, a diamond. Her husband is a 1-star. She is a 7-time elite coach, a 1-time premier coach. She is in the Millionaire Club, which now they call Legacy Club. And she is an SC10 legend, 110 months in Success Club. So if you've ever thought, well, it's just impossible to help 3 people a month, there you go. Myth busted for you. Okay. And she said, what I love about the Millions Club is I only made $6,000 my first year as a coach. Her second year as a coach, she made $37,000. And then by her 5th year, she was in the Millionaires Club. So I asked her to come on tonight. I actually got connected with her through a mutual coach, Ashley Mahaffey, and I was needing some advice on placement and how I should build now that we have achieved 6-star and what my next goal should be. And she loves placement and all of the things. So she was willing to hop on a Zoom with me, even though she had no idea who I was, and help me out with that. And I was like, hey, would you ever want to do a team call for us? And she was like, yeah. And I'm doing a team call for her as well. So we are spreading the love. We are so excited to have you, Kristi. I asked her if she would come on tonight and just talk to us why 2-star and beyond. I know we talk a lot about diamond, but that's not the goal. That is not the goal in any way. It's the 3rd rank out of 18 ranks you can reach in the company. It's definitely not the top of Mount Everest that we all make it into. So I wanted her to come on tonight and just share with us. So I am going to hand the mic over to her so we can just learn. And so if you guys have questions, please throw them in the chat and she'll answer them at the end. So Kristi, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me, and congrats on 6-star. That's so exciting. So I want to dive in. Hopefully I'm going to get through everything really quickly so that I can open it up for questions and you guys can just ask me anything. Basically, I started this business. I was actually searching for a second job. I worked in finance. I was a financial advisor. I was also training for an Ironman. I was an Ironman triathlete, which is a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike, 26.2-mile run. I told my 11-year-old niece that the other day. She goes, "You did that in one day?" I said, "Yeah, I know. I don't recommend it." But I was training for an Ironman. I was working full-time, and I had deferred my student loans, and it was coming up. I couldn't defer them anymore. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll go back to serving like I did in college. I was browsing all sorts of jobs, trying to find new jobs. And my coach invited me, and I had no idea what it was. I didn't even know if it was anything that I needed. So I just saved her email. Like, I saved it. I was like, oh, I'll look into this later. I'm really busy right now. I was going back to get my master's in business, and because I thought maybe that would help me feel like I was moving forward. I just kind of felt stuck in my life. I live in California, and we lived in San Luis Obispo on the central coast of California. And living there, they pay us half of what is paid in San Francisco and LA, but the cost of living is the same. And so I was broke. But outside looking in, it looked like she's a financial advisor, she's into fitness. So I'm so grateful that my coach didn't make the decision for me, and she asked me, but I saved her email. And she reached back out, it was probably a couple weeks later, and asked if we could jump on the phone. And I was like, oh, sure, you schedule something with me, I'm gonna show up for it. So time came, she didn't call, so I called her. I'm like, we have this appointment. And I asked her, well, what is this? What is this business? I hadn't watched anything she sent me. And she basically said that if we help a couple people, you can earn customers from the company. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. All about fitness. I get to help people in fitness. I could talk about that all day long. And so I had actually, fitness and nutrition wasn't always a part of my life. I went through a severe depression, a suicidal depression, and it was fitness and nutrition that I turned to really figure out how to heal myself and recover myself through that in my life. And so it becomes such a big part of my life. And I never wanted to go back into that depressed state again. And I kind of felt like that was what was happening in my job. So I got on the phone with her, and my first question to her was, how much are you earning? So I was probably that person that you guys are like, please don't ask that question. And she had been doing this for 3 years, and she was earning $1,500 a month. And all she had to tell me was she was earning $500, and I would have enrolled, because that is what I needed to pay my student loans every month. And so I always share that because I think my team always thinks they need to be a superstar diamond coach. They need to be a million club earner to be able to share the impact this business can have. But a superstar diamond coach would enroll with all of you if you just shared that I could have earned a couple $100 extra a month. So don't be afraid to share the benefits of this business, because there are Kristis out there just like me searching for this for $200, $300, $400 a month. And then once I got in and I heard the National Coach Wake Up Calls, my coach disappeared on week 2 after she enrolled me. So I had no idea what I was doing, and I almost quit. I was listening to the National Coach Wake Up Call in week 2, and I heard somebody had paid off $400,000 in debt. And I was like, if she can pay off $400,000 in debt, I can not only pay off my student loans, but I can leave my full-time job. Here I am thinking I'm just starting this for $500, but no, I want to leave my full-time job now. So my vision grew really quickly in this business, and I didn't know how that was going to happen. And in fact, the thought of that kind of overwhelmed me. And I remember in month 2, I was like, who am I to think I'm going to be successful? Everything is 0 in my coach office. Maybe I'll just give up. I'll just quit, because who am I? And then I took a step back and I thought, okay, well, there's 2 options here. Another 5 years go by. You've been in the financial industry for 5 years. You still can't pay your student loans. So another 5 years go by and you're still searching for another job, and you're going from job to job. And really what you don't like is that they control your time. They control when you take vacation. My niece at the time was a baby, and I had already missed out on the first couple years of her life because a boss said I couldn't take more time off. My grandpa in month 2, this was a big thing. We were moving, training for an Ironman, going on vacation to see my in-laws that lived in Wisconsin. My grandfather was passing away, and I had to drive up to say goodbye and then drive back to get back to work, because I had already taken all my vacation time and I couldn't get any more time off. And then I had to drive up for the funeral. When I drove up to the site, the grave site, the funeral had ended. And I was sitting there on the side of the gravesite just in tears, because I had missed everything. And I made a decision in that moment that nobody would ever have that control over my life. And it might take me 2 years to leave my full-time job. It might take me 5 years, but I was going to show up until it happened, because the alternative was to be stuck in another 5 years. And so even though my coach disappeared and all this stuff was happening to me, I really believe it was like God's way of saying, is this what you want? Because if it is, there's going to be struggle. There's going to be things that stand in your way. But if you're clear on what you want and you're willing to do the work, it can happen for you if you're willing to do it until it happens. And I was. And so month 2, I went all in. Like the doubt of giving up or quitting, like that wasn't an option, because the alternative was to go back to the life that most people live. And I have one of my favorite books is 6 Months to Six Figures by Peter Voogd. It's my top favorite book. And he's like, most people are broke. I didn't want to be most people. Most people get to retirement and barely have enough money to retire. So now they're living broke in retirement. I didn't want to be that person. Most people don't have time to live the life that they want. I didn't want to be that person. And so I made that decision in month 2. In month 2, my first month, I earned $70, and I was so excited. And that was one of my biggest things that I look back and I'm like, what's the difference between somebody who earns $70 and is like, oh, well, I'll just kind of show up for this business. Like I'll dabble because it was only $70. I treated it in month 2 like I had already earned 7 figures. I treated it like the opportunity this could be instead of what it was in that moment. And that didn't mean going all in 50, 60 hours a week. I was working full time training for an Ironman, but it meant squeezing in time before work on my lunch breaks. And if any of you are working, I also did it when I went on, my pee breaks. I was like, okay, this is a really long pee, drink a lot of water so you can get in 10 invites really quickly. So I used all the time I had that that most people are standing in line at the grocery store scrolling, right, while they're waiting in line. I use that to invite 5 people. So it wasn't perfect. It was really messy. But in my first year, by my year mark, my part-time income with coaching had surpassed my full-time income in finance. And the biggest thing was I focused on those income producing activities. I didn't have time to make pretty graphics. I didn't have time for my social media posts to be perfect. I didn't have time to overthink anything. When I sent the invite, you know, when I first started, I would get really nervous and my armpits would get sweaty. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't read this. I don't know. I hope they don't think I'm crazy. And so I went through all those things, all those uncomfortable things when we're starting. But I also know it takes 10,000 times to be great at something. So I wanted to get great at it really quickly. I didn't want to have to, I didn't want it to be awkward. I didn't want to draw out the awkwardness over 6 months. I wanted to get through it really, really quickly. And I've treated my business that way from the beginning. And so about a year and a half, I left my full-time job. And then, and like Danny said, the first year I earned $6,000, but I was so grateful for every penny because I knew with my degree in finance, if I can make 6,000, I can make 36,000. If I can make 36,000, I can make 136,000, which is kind of crazy because that's what happened my third year. And then by year 5, it was Millions Club. So that's really, really quick growth. But I think a lot of times people slow down in the beginning or aren't showing up to create that momentum in their business because at the beginning, it is a lot of work for a little bit of pay, right? To me, it wasn't because I wasn't earning that much. So it was a lot of pay to me. Month 2, when I earned $800, I'm like, that paid my gas. I don't have to check my bank account at the gas station like a crazy person. Like, okay, $5. Hopefully I can get through the week until the next paycheck. Like those little stories are really what I shared. And it helped attract people that really believed in my vision of leaving my full-time job and they wanted to do the same. So I shared that from the beginning. But I have 3 things for you guys that I've learned over the years that I'm going to share with you today about going beyond Diamond, getting to 2-star. I'm also going to share with you guys a little bit at my coach office from my second business center and my husband's business center, because I want you guys to see the power of 2-star. But first off, number 1, and I have to say this I say this pretty much on every call. So if you ever hear me speak again, I'll start with this. You have to commit to your vitals for 90 days. You have to commit to your vitals for 90 days. So in 90 days, if any of you would like to reach out and say, Kristi, I did my business tracker every single day for 90 days, and I just want to let you know I did it, please do. And the reason is this. Who has finished a fitness program? Who's finished I love it. Look at all the hands. How did you feel when you finished the program? You guys can chat it, put it in the chat. Yeah, right? You felt confident. You felt like you accomplished something. You felt badass, right? So accomplished. Love it. Amazing. I want you to have that same confidence for your business. Every single decision we make either helps or hurts our confidence. And when I learned that, which was in the 6 Months to 6 Figures book, I started looking at the decisions I was making differently. When the alarm goes off and you don't want to get up and you don't get up, you actually decrease your confidence the next day that when the alarm goes off, you're going to get up. When the alarm goes off and you get up, you've now increased your confidence account that you're going to follow through on what you said you would do. And so most people feel a certain way. They don't feel like doing something, so they don't do it. And then they feel crappy after because they've decreased that confidence account. Successful people flip that. They make a commitment, they make a decision. No matter what the feeling is, they do it anyways, and then they feel amazing after. They build that confidence account after. So I want you to have that type of confidence for your business, because in order to build this with joy and excitement and enthusiasm and bring that to other people, you have to be confident that you'll do the work. A lot of people want the benefits of Millions Club and creating freedom and happiness and health, but very few are willing to do the work for the benefits. So be willing to do the work for the benefits. And it starts with committing. And the reason I say commit to your vitals for 90 days, I've had successful coaches that earn Success Club every single month. And they earn it in the first 2 weeks, and then they back off their business. Like, okay, Iron Success Club. I don't even have to keep going anymore. Already at 10. Woo! Signed 3 coaches for the month. We're good. We're going to just put this on the back burner for the rest of the weeks of the month. They literally built their business that way. And one day on a training, I said, have you been consistent for 90 days? Have you been consistent? And she wasn't. And she told me later, she goes, it was that call when you said that I realized I had never been consistent in my business for 90 days. And she got to 5-star, not in 90 days, but by being like that switch flipped and she started committing to her business. You'll feel amazing. You'll build a lot of confidence. You'll have more aha moments. So you have all the resources, and the secret sauce is really those vital behaviors. The more you do them, the better you get at them. The more you show up to trainings and can tweak and make it fit you, the more confident you're going to feel. And then that's going to transfer over to, which comes to number 2. Number 2 is leading yourself. So 5% of this business is those vitals. You're like, 5%? Yeah, you get really great at that 5%. You need it. The other 95% is you. It's you. We all start at 0. Why do some people do the vitals and see really great results? And then some people do the vitals and they literally will repel the results. It comes to you. So this business is about becoming the brightest, shiniest version of you, the sexiest version of you. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. But it means that when there is a struggle in front of you, when there is a problem, you see solutions, you search for the solutions, you search how to overcome the struggle so that you can turn around and help more people. That's part of becoming the sexiest, brightest, shiniest version of you. Because if you hit a roadblock, Darren Hardy says this, every wall is just, it's there to thin the herd. So when you hit that roadblock, you have the choice. Do you figure it out so that you can get over the wall and now you become the leader that gets to show others? Or do you allow that roadblock to stop you? Do you turn around and give up? And all of those roadblocks allow you to become a stronger, better, shinier version of you. And I had no idea when I was getting started that this business was going to make me become a happier person just by overcoming all of the shit that it threw in front of me. Like, oh, you care too much what other people think. Figure it out. Like the more I did the vital behaviors, the less control others' thoughts had over me, right? And something that I had to lead myself in is somebody could say something negatively on social media to me, and I would put it on repeat in my head. And what that did was that was actually stealing from my greatness. Think about it. Like when someone's negative to me, I used to internalize that until I realized, wow, I hate when people steal my time. I hate when people make an appointment with me and are 30 minutes late. Like that frustrates me, but I was doing it to myself. The time that I put negative thoughts on repeat, or I don't have a network, or I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, whatever it may be of why you can't be successful, that's time that could be energy and effort going towards the goals and dreams that you have for your life. And we all do it. But when I became aware of that, I was like, okay, I have to lead myself through this stuff. I have to become the leader that's like, okay, here's a problem. How do I fix it? What's the solution? Let me try different things. Let me get excited about overcoming the problem, because there's going to be a lot of that stuff. And it feels a lot better to bring that positive energy than to focus on the negative. And as I started doing that, I started attracting higher level leaders to my team, or people that like, okay, how would Kristi think of this? And then they started thinking about it differently, right? So it always starts with us. When it comes to leading yourself, what are you avoiding? What are you avoiding? A lot of coaches on my team will avoid posting calls to actions about coaching. They'll avoid talking about coaching. They'll invite to challenge groups all day long, but they won't talk about coaching and the benefits it's brought to them. That is leading themselves. That is their next level of opportunity. That's their next level of growth. So a lot of times the things that are the most uncomfortable for us are waiting for us to go after them, because when you do the uncomfortable things, you feel amazing after, right? In 6 weeks of the work, has anyone tried the clap push-up? Right? No one's tried it. So or a pull-up, say like when I started this business, I couldn't do a pull-up. I can do 15 in a row now, In fact, the other day I did the Murph workout and I did 100 pull-ups. 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups. Never in my life I couldn't do one to begin with. I felt really, really badass, right? So those things that are uncomfortable and scary, the more we do them, the more energy we bring, the more enthusiasm and excitement, because we feel that, and then we give that to other people. So what are the uncomfortable things that you're putting off that you know are going to explode your business? I don't know what those are, because there's a lot of them. Maybe it's posting about coaching. Maybe it's sending invites. Maybe it's inviting daily consistently because it's uncomfortable. Maybe it's posting. For me, there were a lot of them. Posting a selfie. When I started, I wasn't on social media. I had no network on social media. I had to build all of it from scratch. I was terrified to post. I was terrified to put up a selfie. I'm an introvert and I was scared to talk to people. So like I had all these things against me, but I believed in my ability to figure it out. I believed in my ability to figure out how to grow a network. I believed in my ability to figure out how to invite. And we didn't have scripts or training that we have in our coach office now. When I started, there was nothing. There weren't YouTube channels. There was literally National Coach Wake Up Call. But I just kept showing up and I did it wrong. Like my first invite was like, hey, I just became a coach with Beachbody. Would you like to buy P90X from me? And I wish I was kidding because I'm not. But I share that because it's so cool to see how far I've come because I led myself, because I was resourceful, because I searched for answers, because when there was a problem, I knew it was there to help me become stronger and get closer to the person I needed to become to make my goals and dreams happen. So again, what uncomfortable thing are you putting off that you need to do today, tonight, because that's going to help you get to your next level. And going back to number 1, committing to your vitals for 90 days. If you haven't done your invites for the day, when we get off this training, you go do them. You go do them because you don't go to bed until they're done, right? So number 1, commit to your vitals for 90 days. Number 2, lead yourself. Those things are 2 of the most important things. And just by doing those things consistently, you will change your life. You will change your business and you will help attract builders to your team as well. So number 3, thinking beyond diamond. When I got started, the only reason I pushed for diamond was for a trip. Success Club was, well, that and the trainings that I got when I got started was how to get to emerald, which is basically telling you what emerald was, how to get to diamond, which is telling you 4 personally sponsored coaches and an emerald on each leg, how not to puke on people, how to earn income, and what was Success Club. No trainings on inviting, no trainings on posting to social media, none of that. But diamond, if you were in diamond in your first 90 days, and you were in Success Club for 6 months, you could earn the Success Club trip. And since I started halfway through the year, I needed to do all of those things because I couldn't earn Success Club every month to qualify for this trip. And so I was like, okay, diamond. And then I saw that at 2-star, you got a quarterly bonus. So I was like, oh, sweet. I definitely want that. I want that quarterly bonus. So that's in my sight, but I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, my coach disappeared on week 2, but I signed my husband. And I'm sure a lot of you have already have your spouse enrolled, but I'm going to cover this anyways. I enrolled my husband because you guys have a great leader. So she told you I would have given anything to have a Danny. You guys are blessed. But I didn't know that. I signed my husband because I was thinking, well, I want to build this fast. I want to get out of my job fast. So I want to get to diamond fast. I want to earn this trip for us. So I need to build him to emerald. So I did all this by accident, right? I enrolled him. I got myself to diamond. I got him to diamond. And the only reason I did that was I wanted us to both get customer leads every month. I wanted to double our customer leads. So I was like, Success Club in both businesses so I can get them, help the most amount of people and get the most amount of people from the company. And so that was my goal. So it was kind of all done by accident, but in enrolling him and then having another coach on the other leg, helping them get to diamond, I got to 2-star, earned the quarterly bonus, opened the Second Coach Business Center, and enrolled that on the opposite leg of my husband, which I think Danny did as well, or something similar. Yeah, because I always wanted to control the 2-star. I never wanted to fall below that. So I have a business on each leg. Now, I want to share with you guys my coach office because I'm a visual person, and when people would share this kind of stuff when I was a new coach, and a lot of people don't do it anymore, it really helped me to visually see it. So I'm going to show you guys my husband's account. He's a diamond. He's a fallen 1-star, fallen 1-star. Let's see. Sorry, it's making me clear my browsing data to get into the coach office. So while you guys are all waiting, you can put in the chat what your goals are for June. I'd love to see what everyone's goals are. Okay. Here we go. I'm almost there. Our coach office is taking a while. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to share this screen. Oh, host disabled attendee screen sharing. So maybe I won't. Let me see if I can do it with my phone.
Try that. Try that.
What was that? Try now? Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay, got it. Okay. Can you guys see this? Okay, so the reason I want to share this with you is because if you look at my husband's lifetime earnings, he has earned $561,843. He has earned half, okay, I'm gonna stop the share for a second, then I'll go back into my other business. He has earned over $500,000. If I didn't enroll him and get him to diamond and focus on getting to 2-star, he would not be earning what he is today, which is pretty crazy. He's missing out on income every week. I'm working hard to try to not have him miss out on income every week. But that is why 2-star right there, like spouse to diamond. Now let me show you my second business center. And the reason why the second business center is so powerful is once I enrolled the second coach business center, I put all of my customers in my second coach business center, because when your customers enroll with you, you get a commission, right? We earn commission on our customers. But when you have a team of coaches that have customers and their personal orders, that creates volume and pays team bonuses. So by having a second business center and you put all your customers in that second business center, you're double dipping. You're getting paid the commission and you're getting paid the team bonus. And so I want to do that because I'm like, I want to work smarter, not harder. So when I get to 2-star, I get to put in the same amount of effort, but I'm kind of not quite, but almost doubling my income. And with your spouse on one side and a second CBC, no matter where you place, you're always getting paid on 2 business centers. And so that was allowing me to double dip in the team bonuses and the income. So let me go into my second CBC. I have 6 counting my husband, but I'm working on getting the 6th CBC for myself currently. Okay. So now I will screen share. Now my second CBC I opened obviously way after my husband because I had to get to 2-star first, but this one has also earned over $1 million. Or sorry, $500,000, almost $500,000. I can't think, I'm thinking of my other business. So this one has earned almost $500,000. And a lot of my other business centers are 6 figures. And then my main business center is over 2 million in total earnings. So when you add all of them up, it's like without those additional CBCs, I wouldn't be earning as much, but it's the same amount of efforts. Does that make sense? So that is the reason. And the thing with 2-star, so that you can break it down to it's really simple, because I saw some of you are like, I'm a brand new coach. Emerald is your goal. I love it. You can build this business by building Emerald every single month, 2 coaches at a time. And it just depends on how fast you want to achieve your goals. It also depends on figuring things out. In my first month, enrolling 2 coaches was really tough. It took me, I didn't know how I was going to build a team. I was like, 2 coaches. I have some coaches that 2 coaches at a time every single month. And then all of a sudden they figure it out. And now they're enrolling 6 coaches a month, 10 coaches a month. So you get better just because wherever you're at, you're a brand new coach. Know that in a year's time, if you're doing those vitals every day, you improve at them, you gain confidence, and you'll grow. So in the beginning, my goal was 2 to 3 coaches a month. And then once I figured that out, my goal was 5 coaches a month. And once I figured that out, my goal was to build a diamond every single month. So every single month, my goal is to enroll 8 coaches. Well, typically it's 15. So I kind of try to build 2 diamonds every month now, but 15 new coaches and 4 new emeralds every month. But that's not how I started. I started by figuring out how to enroll 2 to 3 coaches every month. But I share that because I have coaches that do earn multiple 6 figures. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. I'm supposed to say that. I do have coaches that earn multiple 6 figures that literally enroll 2 to 3 coaches every month, and that's it. And they teach their team to do the same thing, and they've built a really big organization. So it doesn't have to be overwhelming, but it just depends on how fast you want to grow this. But if you're committing to those vitals and helping 2 to 3 people, 3 to 5 people, 10 to 15 people every single month, guys, 2-star is just emerald over and over and over again. And teaching 2 other people or 1 other person, if you have a spouse, to do the same. Okay, so I did that in 30 minutes. That was my goal. I would love to go through any questions that you guys have, anything that comes to mind.
That was amazing and super, super inspiring. My goal every month is to go diamond again. So I love that you said that. Our team really, really, really focuses on emerald again every single month. And we've just been exploding. So I think it's a fantastic strategy. But what questions do you guys have? Either feel free to unmute or to put it in the chat. I think Hannah just dropped one.
Yes, I love that, Hannah. What is your process to onboard new coaches since I'm bringing in so many each month? So when a new coach gets started, I send them 2 emails, and I can send you guys a copy of the emails, but the first one is just when the National Coach Wake Up Call is, when our team training is, and when our Q&A is every week. So we have, on Wednesday, we have a team Q&A right before the team training that Danny is going to be leading or guest speaking on Wednesday. So I let them know when those are. And I also, when I enroll someone, I'm on the phone with them. So these 15 people are on the phone with me. And during the enrollment, I always tell them, I'm going to email you 2 emails. One is when our team trainings are. You definitely want to be on those because the vital behaviors that are necessary to grow your business, you just need to dive in and do them. They're very basic. But over time, you're going to get better at them and tweak them and get more confident by showing up to these trainings. It's like so something I share, side note, something I share with my team, I'll get back to the process, is that when I started this business, I looked at it as a 4-year college degree. If it took 4 years for me to get a college degree and go into debt and put in 40, 50, 60 hours a week, why wasn't I going to put the same time and effort? I didn't have 40, 50, 60 hours in the beginning, but why wasn't I going to put in the same effort to see, like in my own business for my own goals and dreams? So in 4 years, I was in debt. I was $100,000 in debt from my degree. And in 4 years with Beachbody, I was almost at $1 million in earnings. So I committed to showing up every day for my goals and dreams to get what I call my Beachbody degree. So I always say to them that, like, if you are really in this and you really want those goals and dreams to happen, like, you show up to those trainings or listen to the recordings if you can't make them live, because that's like getting your Beachbody degree. You're like learning and growing so that you can go implement better. So I send those. And then the second thing that I send is, it's a new coach checklist, which I can send to you guys. And it just goes through the basics, setting up their coach office, taking their before photos and measurements. Oh, sorry, spam. Taking their before photos and measurements, going through Success Club, going through Emerald, and then the business tracker, and then literally tells them, go invite 20 people. Here are some scripts. Like, they have to go take action. once they do everything on the checklist, then they schedule a call with me. In that email, on top of the checklist is also the book, The Slight Edge. I send them the link for that and have them get started with reading that personal development book. If anything, they're going to change their life with our fitness programs and getting started with personal development. I know this business can change their life, but I know a lot of people allow fear to stop them. And so if anything, I just want to make sure that they get our programs, get started with that, get started with the personal development. And then at the checklist, once they finish it, they email me back and I get on a phone call with them. The only things I cover on the phone call are Success Club, Success Starters, Emerald, and then their goals and visions so that I can explain why these 3 things are going to help make their goal and vision happen. And then I send them the business tracker, which I had already sent them in the email with the new coach checklist. And I tell them to send me their tracker on Thursday, or they can drop it in our team page. Every Thursday I do a drawing, a gift card drawing, or a one-on-one mentorship Zoom with me. For like everyone that drops their tracker goes into a drawing. So that way they have like more accountability to do it. And I also tell them if they send me their tracker, then they can get additional calls with me if, you know, after sending it to me so many weeks in a row. So I personally, this is just the way I work. I make people earn my time. There's a book called Built to Last. It was written by a Beachbody coach. And he says on the first, when he's enrolling someone, this could be the last time we talk, or we could talk 10 times a day. It really is up to you on how serious you are with this business and if you decide to commit and run. All of my new coaches go into 2 of our groups. I have one group called Real People, Real Results, and then I have our coaching group called Ignite Your Life. The Real People, Real Results, again, if anything, they can commit to their health and fitness, see all the transformations happening, and then they want to be a part of that, and that's totally okay if they decide not to build the business. All of those 15, most of them are business builders. They're not discount coaches. I have a few that'll sign up for the discount, and typically it's because they've enrolled with me before as a business builder and then quit, and then now they want the discount to, like, they know they can have it, and commit to the programs that way. But I know that sounded like a lot. I'll send it to you. It's really simple. It's just them going through the checklist and then getting on the phone with me. The reason I make people earn my time is because in the beginning, I would think that I had to do all the training. And whatever you're doing currently in your business, if you want to build a business of freedom and have a lot of impact and change a lot of lives, is what you're doing now duplicatable for 10,000 people. And you also have to think, if you're getting on the phone and explaining to your coaches everything for their business, they now think that they have to do that and they don't know the answers. So they think they can't build this business. So I always guide, we're professional guiders. We guide to a training. I had a new coach text me the other day, and she was brand new. She didn't know, she was just asking about a Facebook profile or something. I said, that's such a great question. Post on the team page, and during my business hours, I'll go in and answer in there. And I told her, I said, the reason is because I always want you to feel like you have freedom in this business. You're building this so you have freedom to be with your children. And so I want to teach you how to create that freedom, change a lot of lives, but create that freedom. So just teaching her right off the get-go, where to go for information and the resources at her disposal, because she doesn't know. Yeah, we talked about it, and it says in her email that this is a group for questions. But a lot of times we feel like we need to answer everyone's questions, and that's how I felt. And so when I was enrolling, 3, 4, 5 people, it was okay for me to answer all their questions. I had the time. But once I started enrolling more people, I was draining myself because I thought I needed to have all the answers, but that was actually disempowering them. Is that helpful? And so a lot of times we think that if we pull someone, it'll help them be more successful. The people that are going to run, and the people that need a little bit more guidance, they need a little bit more guidance, and you can be there to guide them, but don't give them all the answers, because now they're in their mind telling themselves, I can't do what she does because I don't know that information. And they won't remember what you just said to them. You give them a 15-minute training, and if you can't find one, You can go on your team page and do a live training on that. So now you have a resource to point other people to that training. After all this time, what's my best, most successful Hey Girl message to potential customers and coaches? So there's like 3 main things when I'm inviting someone. It is my story, what's in it for them, and are they open to learning more? My story, what's in it for them, and are they open to learning more? And the reason why I share it that way is because if I share a framework, you all know your story. You all know like why you started. And even if you don't have a story, if you're a brand new coach, I built my business as a brand new coach because I was clear on where I was going, even if I didn't know how to get there yet. I was clear that I was going to leave my full-time job, and I shared that vision. I was clear that I loved health and fitness. It had changed my life, and I wanted to change other people's lives. I wanted other people to know how like amazing they can feel. Most people don't know how crappy they feel until they know how amazing they can feel. And I want that for other people. I shared that. I shared my vision and where I was going. And then I would, this business gave me hope. I hated my job. I cried most days. I cried every Sunday night. When I started this, I was so excited to get off work so that I could go home and like commit to my business that I was like, this is the coolest thing. And I would just share that with people. I remember when I first qualified for customer leads, I was training for Ironman. All my Ironman partners knew what customer leads were. They knew what Success Club was because I was so pumped about it. And then I would ask them like, are you open to learning more info? Are you like, if I sent you more info, would you take a look? And they're like, yeah. And they did enroll because like one of my best friends, who's the best man in my wedding, is at the top of my organization in like one of the best spots, and he won't leave because he knows how good it is. And so you really got to share your story with passion. It goes back to that leading yourself. And then what's in it for them? Are you noticing that they're busy? Like a lot of my coaches are really busy. They were working full-time moms and they never felt like they had time for their kids. They're like, I will sacrifice for a little bit so that I have more time with my kids when they're a little bit older, right? And so I could share those kinds of things. Like, are you looking for more time? Are you, not wanting to have to travel to the gym back and forth, whatever? Like, what do you see them sharing about? So what's in it for them? And then are you open to learning more? Or have you ever considered becoming a coach? Or have you ever considered joining one of my boot camps? So usually I'm like, have you ever considered earning extra income while working on your health goals? I love, like, that's what I usually is my go-to. Have you ever, but I've switched it lately to, are you open to learning more? Because so many people like shove information down your throat. And I'm like, I don't like that. Just ask me if I'm open to it.
Fallon says, what tools did you use to help get yourself unstuck?
Unstuck with what time?
Fallon, you want to unmute? You unmute?
Sorry, my dogs are barking. My husband's coming in. I meant to help. Sorry, I didn't use the right words. My mic's on, FYI. Okay. To help you get over your fears and your hurdles that was stopping you from moving forward is what I was trying to mean by that.
Yeah. So it really was just that fear wasn't going to go away. Like the only way for that fear to go away and confidence to replace it was for me to take action on it. So I did it scared. And it really was, I looked at where I was and I was like, okay, you can have this fear and hold on to it for the next 5 years and be in the same position, or you can have more fear over being stuck in the next 5 years. And I had bigger fear over being stuck. So I did the scary thing of inviting and posting, because I didn't I just looked around me and I saw so many people struggling financially with the same problems, but not doing anything to change it. And I didn't want to be like those people. So I was like, okay, I have to just do these things that scare me. And when it came to like inviting, because it scared me so bad, I was like, when I looked at we didn't have the tracker back then. We had a 10 game plan commitment, and it said invite 2 to 5 people. And I thought, well, I suck at this, like royally suck at this. So I'll do like 15 to 20, 15 to 30 so that I get better at it faster, because most people are going to ignore me. And my results the first month were really bad. Like I invited 400 people and 3 people said yes. So really awful, like really awful rates. But follow-up is key. A lot of times people will ask me, well, how do you close people? Really, I just ask them. I just ask the question, when did you want to get started? When should we schedule your enrollment call? Do you want to get started tomorrow or Friday? Like I just ask the question. But one of the biggest things is that you don't even have to be great at closing. You have to be a master at follow-up. And so I realized that because I read the book Go for No, and he's like, most people are going to tell you yes after they've told you no 5 to 12 times. But most people never ask more than once. And so I'm like, okay, don't be most people, follow up with people, show them that you care. And I've always thought about that because, on social media, I'll get people invite me to try their skincare line or whatever it may be. I'm like, thanks, I know I'm getting old. But when they invite me, I'm like, oh no, thank you for thinking of me. And they never follow up with me again. All of a sudden they were loving on all my stuff and paying attention to me, and now they don't care about me. And so I never want to be one of those people. So I do typically invite right away, but I build the relationship after, and I continue to show up and continue to re-invite and, continue to love on them, and comment and engage with them and ask about their life. And just genuinely, like I'm not thinking of like the next time I'm going to invite them. They're just in a follow-up system. So I'm always remembering to go back. But the more I did that, the more confident I gained. Like even in conversations, people can ask me any question, doesn't have a script. Like you guys could ask me anything and I could just tell you what I do just from experience. So that confidence comes by just doing those scary things.
No, I agree. The more I ask, the easier it gets. And I always remembered, how many times did you tell Danny no? And I'm like, keep asking. I have a couple girls who are like me, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to stay connected with them, check in with them. And you're right. Once you just do it, your fear goes away.
Yeah. And you realize it's, I had one girl, she's a friend and a coach on our team now, but in the beginning she said to me, or when she enrolled as a coach, like 3 years later, she goes, yeah, in the beginning, I just watched you to see how big of a train wreck you were going to be. And guys, I really was. Like, I was, things pop up on my social media and I'm like, I suck at life today. I'm like, really? I posted that kind of stuff? And so I share that because I want you guys to understand no matter where you're at now, you can go wherever you want to go, right? No matter what fears you have now, you can overcome those. And it can become your superpower. Like confidence is my superpower. Knowing like it probably, I'm probably like naive how confident I can be about things. Cause I'm just like, okay, well, I'll figure it out. I'll keep going. I'll keep trying. This morning I did a handstand kipping push-up. I was like, I couldn't even do a handstand, like literally would crumble over like a year ago. It took a year for me to get this, right? But I'm just like, I'm relentless. And that really is my superpower. Like if anything's scary, I'm like, it's going to feel amazing once I figure it out.
Alex wants to know what your top personal development books are. And then Erica wants to know your best advice for growing your network.
Yes. So 6 months to 6 figures, definitely a favorite. There's so many. I have like different ones, obviously for different coaches and different people. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, another really great one. Get Over Your Damn Self. I love that one. Go Pro. Go Pro is actually kind of what I built my entire system on in the beginning when I started coaching. Go Pro, Go for No, Slide Edge, The Compound Effect, Atomic Habits. Real Leadership. Real Leadership's a really great one that they gave to us at a leadership event in Beachbody one time, and I put it on my shelf and never read it. And then one day just needed a new book and read it. I was like, this one's incredible. Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. Millionaire Success Habits, Dean Graziosi, another really great one. It's a lot of mindset stuff on who you need to become to earn that, you know, to have like that $1 million mindset. I'm always wanting to learn how other people think. I really like that one. I have so many that I know I'm forgetting. And Get Rich Lucky Bitch. If you struggle, oh, sorry, there's kids. If you struggle with like not thinking that I always believed that I could earn $1 million. I believe that I can earn 7 figures a year. I believe that I'm going to get to 10 million. Like, I don't have money blocks, but I didn't know that was a thing until I read that book. And so sometimes you could be doing all the activities, but you almost don't feel like you deserve money. And I love that book for that. It's really incredible. It's helped a lot of coaches to get over, you know, the struggle of not believing that they can earn that income, or that they deserve it, or money is evil kind of thing, things that we've been rooted in us as children that we might not know. So I love that one.
What was the name of it again, really quick?
Get Rich Lucky Bitch. Sorry if there's kids.
And then expanding your network. And then Samantha wants to know what Enneagram you are.
3. So expanding my network. When I started, I did not have an Instagram. I don't even think Instagram was around when I started. That's how long I've been doing this. But Facebook. So what I did was I was like, okay, well, I don't have anyone on Facebook. So I went to my best friend's page. She was a real estate agent, and she is great at networking. Like, she is a networker hardcore. So I was like, I'm going to add everyone from her page. I went to my husband or boyfriend at the time, and I added friends of friends from his page. I went to my mom. I went to my brother. So I was just using other people's pages. I did join some groups. I'm a boxer mom. I have 2 boxers. And so I belong to boxer groups. And once in a while I'll post in there. And if there's someone that like comments and answers a question that I really connect with, I'll add them. So that's what I did in the beginning. Was I was just trying to grow my Facebook network, 30 people a day, like really quickly. That actually pays off because they see all my posts consistently over the years. I wish everyone a happy birthday. I wish everyone a happy birthday early or late, never on their birthday, because everybody says happy birthday on their birthday, and I want to stand out. And I've been doing that for 5 years. So people are like, you're always the first. I'm like, I know, that's the point, because now you pay attention. So yeah, that's how I did my Facebook. It was maybe year 3 or year 4, I started doing Facebook ads, but literally it was just like a quote with a little bit of my story, and I would promote the post just so that the new people that I didn't know that would like it, I could then add them as a friend. So that was all that I did that for, so that they can continue to see my story. When Instagram started, what I did was, I am a figure competitor. So I do figure competitions and bikini competitions, that kind of stuff. So the team that I was on, the coach that I had for my competition, he has a team. It's now very successful. When I started with him, it wasn't, but they had a hashtag, and all the girls on the team would use that hashtag. And so I would connect with all the girls because it was something we really connected on. A lot of my business builders came from that because they connected with me on the competing level, but they saw me posting about my lifestyle and my business. And that was kind of unique because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was connecting with them because I had no idea what I was doing in my competition. And then I started doing like locations. So I do a lot of like local stuff. Like we have a lot of different gyms, even though we're a really small community. And so I'll go to the gyms and I'll see people that are using the location of the gym in their posts. And then I'll start connecting and building with those people, because I find typically no other Beachbody coach is using that. And these people aren't using hashtags, and, so I'm able to connect with people that have never been invited before that way. So I use a lot of personal like location stuff in the town that I'm in. And then the other thing I did was, I am a big sweets person. I love desserts. And so when I was competing, I always, like, a lot of my competitions were in Denver, and there's Voodoo Donuts. is a big thing. So I would go and connect with other people that like donuts and other people that liked cakes and things like that, just because I always was posting about donuts and cake. So we could connect on that. So just little things like that. Other people that have boxers, like it is crazy how many people on our team have boxers. Just because I'd connect with people on that on Instagram. So, but mostly Facebook. I'm still mostly Facebook. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm not as consistent as I am on Facebook, which is different. Most people are like very Instagram these days, which my team is. My team is very Instagram, but I've stuck with Facebook.
Okay, I have a question. How do you go about, because I know you're very into CrossFit and other fitness outside of Beachbody. So what is your best route? Because I see so many women who have a love of other, but I know they're not making the money they should, but they're doing it because they love it. And I know that there's a better way over here, not that they have to leave there, but I know they could be making so much more with Beachbody and doing the same thing. So what is your best approach? I've tried to approach a lot of people, and most of the time they just like the message, or they like don't understand what I'm saying. So what's your best approach for that?
Yeah, it really is just the consistency of building that relationship and sharing the lifestyle. But I also think like, so even if I'm doing Body Beast, for example, I do it at the gym, or my mom and I did Transform 20 together. We did the whole program at the gym every day, like record, like our phone set up. Here's my mom's phone streaming. Here's my phone recording us, like going live. And so people were like, oh, you don't have to just, like, I have so many people enroll with me because they're like, oh, I don't just have to do these programs at home. I'm like, yeah, you don't. And so I just make sure that I'm showing different things. Like if you go for a walk or you go for a run or do something outside of the Beachbody programs, go for a hike, like post about those things. Because a lot of people think that the only way they can become a coach is if they do Beachbody programs. And Beachbody would hate if I share this. They don't like when people share this, but I got to 6 figures without ever doing a Beachbody program. I was training for Ironman using Shakeology, using our pre-workout. Energy and endurance. It wasn't energized. It was energy and endurance. P90X Recover was the recovery that we had. I was using those things. And then when 21 Day Fix came out, like it revolutionized my nutrition. I finally understood nutrition. I was so excited. So I share that from a standpoint of, as an athlete, a lot of athletes don't have the cleanest diets. They're just like eating whatever they want and doing the workouts, but they're not getting the results that they want. And so I shared that journey with like the Ultimate Portion Fix and with Shakeology. And so people saw that they could do other things besides just the Beachbody programs. So I'm not saying don't stop doing our programs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it has helped me. Like a lot of the people at CrossFit are using Shakeology and doing Ultimate Portion Fix. And a lot of them get Beachbody on demand because when they're not doing CrossFit, they're doing yoga at home on Beachbody on demand. But they never felt like they couldn't do other things. I'm not sure if that's helpful. That's just what I've noticed. And what I get a lot of is like, oh, I don't have to do the programs, just Beachbody for the rest of my life. And I think sometimes people will, like, if you wanted to train for a marathon or do something like that, like you can do that and incorporate, like when I was training, I incorporated for a 50K years later after Ironman, I was doing the 3-week yoga retreat and training for the 50K. So I was able to show like other ultra athletes that like, this is really important that we take care of our body and like treat it well and stretch and, you know, that kind of stuff. So.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I'm going to stop recording.